The Southland Chamber of Commerce drew about 100 people to their Fight for Fairness event in Invercargill yesterday. New Zealand aluminium smelter Chief Executive Stu Hamilton says the company's plans to review the operation with a threat of closure is much more serious than previous grumbles.
So a lot of people saying, oh, here we go again, it's the same thing all over again. A strategic review has never been called at Tiwai. It's a fairly serious process. It's something which Rio Tinto conducts rarely, but it does conduct in a number of operations around the world. And in this case, it's looking at three options for the smelter.
He says the first and preferred option is to keep the smelter running at full capacity. The second option is to reduce the amount of production, but shutting down some of the pot lines. And the third is to close the entire plant. Hamilton also says the hydroelectric power scheme at Manapuri, created 50 years ago to provide power to the aluminium smelter, generates money for the country in a relatively clean and green way.
They're built as a partnership. It was a fantastic project, basically designed for New Zealand to take its significant hydropower resources and to monetise it, turn it into cash for New Zealand. What's happened over the sort of subsequent 50 years is that every single year, the smelter contributes about $500 million into the economy.
The power station and smelter are about 150 kilometres apart, and to get power to the smelter uses about 2% of the country's electrical grid. Yet he says the smelter is actually having to pay 7 to 8% of the country's total electrical transmission revenue.
We're not saying that we expect Meridian to lose money from the power station. We're just saying that the partnership needs to be rebalanced, needs to be fairer. And that's really what we're standing up for, is to fight for the fairness of the operation. Looking at such a fantastic operation that produces the highest purity aluminium in the world, some of the lowest carbon. And for New Zealand to have that asset in its midst, it needs to have a competitive price of power.
Southland Chamber of Commerce President Neil Makara says it's up to the concerned people of Southland to make their voices heard.
We're passionate behind it, the team, and I suppose hopefully all of you in the crowd today. And I suppose the word is get the word out there more. We need to be more active. It's hard from a Southland perspective. We are only 90 to 100,000 people. Central government doesn't tend to listen too well to that smaller population, so we need to be, I suppose, crowing above our weight and getting out there more active.
An online petition to save the Tiwai Point smelter had already gained several thousand online signatures by midday today. In Invercargill, the South Today.